Hello YouTube, this is Julia Plous, children's book author and child at heart, here with my childhood best friend Tatiana Ortiz, model, actress, writer, producer, director, Jill of all trades.
Make me flatter me, why don't you?
Yeah, we have known each other since preschool, since daycare, since we were three.
Yeah,
we would, apparently how it would go is my dad would drop me off, or he'd take me to daycare, and I'd just sit on his lap, scared to go anywhere, and then I'd see Tati, and then I'd run off and be like, there's Tati, and then he'd be like, no, it's my time to scuttle away and go to work. So, let's see, you had Sega Genesis first, right?
I don't know if I had it first, but I still have it.
Yeah, no, I think you did. I remember you had the Aladdin game, whereas at the time I only had the Super Nintendo version. And there were different versions. And yeah, you had the Berenstain Bears game, I remember, too.
Still have that.
Yeah.
Still have all those games.
You had some NBA game.
Live 97.
I guess, but I remember, you had two controllers. I grew up only having one controller, and then the second player Sega controllers also had like XYZ buttons on them.
Yep.
And so I didn't know what I was doing. You're over here scoring baskets. I'm at the other end of the court just blocking nothing.
Tell me, you know what else that controller did? You know those little things that
like little switches.
You could put a switch up and it would just hold down whatever button that switch was for.
Oh, I never knew that.
So I used to sneak attack sometimes and flip the switch up so the player would just be stuck jumping.
Oh, I probably would have been stuck jumping anyway. But yeah, we were, I remember you had Sonic 2. And neither one of us had Sonic 1. But, she had Sonic 2, and then 1995 is when my sister and I got our Sega Genesis, and we bought the Pocahontas game to play, and it came with Sonic and Knuckles. And this cartridge has, this little flap, so you could plug in another game. It was compatible with Sonic 2 and Sonic 3. We never had Sonic 3, but, my sister and I, we'd beat Pocahontas, a million times, and after a while we were like, we never tried that Sonic and Knuckles game that came with it. Why don't we try that? So we did, and we didn't really get it right away. We were kind of fascinated with Knuckles, oh my gosh, he can fly. What is he? Is he a flying squirrel?
Yeah,
and then she had to read the instruction booklet, he's an echidna. We didn't know it was echidna back then, but okay. And we were fascinated, he could do so much more than Sonic. He could, punch through walls. He could climb walls. He can glide.
Yeah, I was a Sonic girl. I feel like I like...
Oh, yeah, well...
Knuckles.
Yeah.
Knuckles, I was the Knuckles.
That's cool, but then when I would bring this over to her house, and we'd stick her Sonic 2 inside it, and playing Sonic 2, we never played two players, because this is back when we had, small TVs, and to have a split screen on such a small TV is a pain in the ass. And we didn't even like Tails, really. He was always getting in the way.
Yeah, he was the little brother nobody wanted.
In the bonus levels with, they're the half pipe, and you gotta get the rings and avoid the bombs. And there was a lag. If you're Sonic and you jump, and then it's a second later jumps lator, and we're like, jump now! Thanks for crashing into bombs and ruining this for us. It was just driving us crazy. And we would take turns on the bonus levels. It was mostly, I think, because you had more experience, because it was your system in your house. You'd be like, oh my gosh, we got a bonus level. You play it. And I would get down on my knees and pray to God. Please let us get through this bonus level. We went to a Christian grade school, but they didn't force on you the concept of always pray every day, do this. So I don't think anyone
had our personality. We weren't
we were not even devout, but we just thought well, let's pray. I guess it'll work. I think I was even still going through an atheist phase then, but it was ridiculous. And of course, when you're a kid, time stretches out like crazy. So nowadays, I can play a game for 4 hours easily and be like, this is fun. But when you're 8, that's oh my gosh, I've been playing way too long. You get a headache.
You can't think you see it when you close your eyes.
Exactly. I still have just a bad memory association with Oil Ocean Zone, which is towards the end of the game. You're almost done with it when you get to Oil Ocean Zone. And just hearing the music kind of sends me back to I have a headache. It's late. My mom's probably gonna come pick me up before we can finish this game. We never finished it. We never not together.
Lots of games. I
think I've beaten it. I have this one with 3 games. It's Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Bean Machine. The Bean game.
Let me see this.
Oh my gosh! Remember the Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Man, where? I still because just recently too, I pulled out my Sega and we've been playing all these games. Live 97. I just got done playing Live 97, and I'm I have this.
Yeah.
The Sonic and Knuckles.
You have Sonic Knuckles? I thought I was the only one.
I just recently got
okay.
I'm like one of those like retro packers. You know, you
yeah,
get, like, old school games like we ordered so we just have more.
Yeah.
Like Street Fighter, or like some of the fighting games too.
Yeah.
I never really played. But we don't have anything like this. I'm like, I miss.
Yeah, and I remember when we would bring this over to her house and we'd cram, you know, her Sonic 2 in this, and you get Knuckles in the Sonic 2 level. So you get Green Hills, or Emerald Hill Zone, you get Chemical Plant Zone, Aquatic Ruin Zone, it's Casino Night Zone, with just Knuckles, and it's great. You can do the bonus levels just as Knuckles, no Tails following you around, fucking you up,
right.
and we were just like, God, this is the best thing ever, to do this alone, solo, with Knuckles. And yeah, we never, it's just, again, time, you know, if we play.
It felt like we were playing for
way longer than we were.
24 hours straight. And what was that? Were you talking about the one game? I feel like it was one of the like Knuckles games, but the animation was a little different. And they had a bunch of the mushrooms that you used to like.
Oh, Mushroom Hill Zone. That's the first level in this. Oh, yeah.
I should do that.
That's actually in the Sonic movie when have you seen the first Sonic movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he's like, I've just got to go to the Mushroom Planet. I'm like, that's Mushroom Hill Zone. I know what you mean. And in the second movie, Robotnik's like assistant is working at a coffee shop called the Mean Bean, and I was like, the Mean Bean, I know what you're getting at. I still have like a list of terms, like in the Bean game, every time you beat a bad guy, you get a password, so you could skip it ahead, and my sister was always like, must write down the password. So I've still got the little instruction booklet somewhere, and we didn't know the names of the characters, because you don't get the names of all the baddies until you beat the game, and then there's the credits. So we were just making up names to refer to them as we did. She's like, we got to, his name is Davy Sprocket. He's a pink and purple robot with kind of a raccoon hat. And my sister was the first one to point out that, I think he's like a pioneer guy. See, he's got the raccoon hat. So I forgot what we called him, but then after that we started making up. That's when we started to get stuck. We're like, I can't beat this guy. There's the pig on wheels. Remember, he's like a pig, but he's just like a blob of purple with wheels. And it's just like, what is that thing? So we just called him the pig.
Yes.
And when he starts doing really well in the game, when he's beating you, the image of him in the middle of the screen starts like rocking out, like moving his head back and forth, and we're like, stop, that's distracting. But so we got these list of things. There's the pig, and right after that is the dynamite, the bomb, the dynamite. After that is Grounder, the little drill guy, the blue screw. After that is Spike. And my sister said, okay, this thing just looks like an onion, so that'll be the onion. After that is Sir Fuzzy Logic. And it's like, that's his name, but we're just like, the egg. And after that was Dragon Breath, and my sister just wrote that down, the dinosaur. That's kind of what he looked like. Then the chicken, Scratch, and then finally you're at Robotnik. And playing that game now, it's like easier to beat Robotnik than it is to beat Spike. It's just like, I'm on that guy for like 6 levels, and then Robotnik, I was just like, and I'm done. Okay. And I was in, I think, first grade. No, I was 8 years old, so it must have been second grade. I was at the grocery store with my mom, and I just was bored, so she went shopping, and I just stood at like the magazine and comic book rack, and I saw a Sonic comic, and I was like, oh, like that video game I've been playing. Okay, I didn't know there were comics, and this was the first one I picked off the shelf, Sonic versus Knuckles Battle Royale, and I didn't know that. Well, actually, there's no E on it, so maybe it's not Battle Royale. Maybe it is Battle Royal. But I do remember saying to my sister, like, I got Sonic VS Knuckles. And she's like, it's not VS, it's Versus. I'm like, geez, how am I supposed to know? I'm 8. Right. But, like, I coming in as an outsider, I had no idea what was going on in here. So, but I knew I liked it, and I was just like, I'm hooked. And so, for my whole childhood, I was a Sonic comic reader. And there was, I don't know, it's not around anymore, but it was probably bought out by 7-Eleven. But there used to be a chain of convenience stores, the White Hen, and there was one in my neighborhood, and I'd go there, for candy or whatever, but also for the Sonic comics. I'd read Sonic and Archie, and I remember we'd always have...
supposed to be like, Archie,
yeah, we always, like, when she'd come over, we always have, if we'd eat at the table, we'd always have to have an Archie comics. To this day, I have to have something in front of me reading while I'm eating, but it was always Archie comics. We'd always read each other the advice columns. Yeah, and we'd be like, oh my gosh, listen to this letter. I'm pretty and rich, and everyone thinks I'm a snob. It's like, well, maybe don't start your letters like that. But so Sonic,
those letters were the funniest.
It was interesting. I loved to read Sonic, and they would often reference Knuckles Knuckles was his own title, and I would be like, something would say something, there'd be an asterisk, see Knuckles, number 13, and I'd be like, where do I find Knuckles? They didn't sell them at the 7-Eleven. I don't know why. They sold Sonic and Archie, but not Knuckles. So for the longest time, I didn't know where I was supposed to get Knuckles. This
this
one is probably the most beat up one I have. Sonic First. These are like origin stories. This has been taped together so many times, and this is the this is what I used to teach myself to draw Sonic. They're very simple. This is like the old cartoon, really. You know.
Number 3. Is this like total, right? Ever?
No, those are super specials. So that's not 1, and this isn't 3. These are Sonic Super Special. So there was still, by the time I was getting in, I would have been in like the 40s. So there's a lot I haven't seen. And yeah, I know my favorite character was Bunny Rabbit. I loved her color scheme. I loved drawing her with her robot arm. But I just loved her color combination too, of like the yellow fur, pink bustier, purple robotic parts, green eyes. I loved to draw her and I loved to color her. I had not seen an interpretation of Knuckles, his voice, what he's supposed to be like, until probably not till Sonic Adventure came out. And I remember reading this comic strip where Sonic and Tails meet Knuckles, and in my head, I imagined him with a really raspy voice like this. Like a hissing sound. And I don't know why, because hearing him the way he's interpreted nowadays, he's more aggressive, more street, more, I'm like, urban, like you said. Yeah, and I'm like, that's way better. And I remember, here's one of those classic cartoon, explosions with womp bomp baloo bomp a womp bam boom. My mom was always like, that was a song. And I never knew it was by Little Richard, but she never told me that, but I know it now. And I'm like, that's hilarious. Okay, I was gonna say something else about, well, anyway, let's see, by the time, it was probably like 5th grade, like 2000. That's when Sega Dreamcast came out, and I mean, I know Sega Dreamcast died immediately. It was totally overtaken by PS2, and, you never had a chance.
But for that flash in the pan, though, it was...
Oh, yeah.
That changed the game.
I remember getting it. I remember getting it for Christmas, and this game, Sonic Adventure. Damn, I love this game. I love everything about it. I love the character stories, how they all converge at one point or another, and they're all, like, happening at the same time. It's so well written, and the graphics, for their time, were pretty awesome. It's fun. The chow, when you bring the little animals, and you make them. We were like,
I didn't forget about chow.
We were into the chow. Like, there was no way to actually like type in names for them, but we had names. We had 6. It was like, that's
and
Chowie.
And grow them. It was like
they cocoon themselves, and then they come out mature, and then you race them. Yeah, we were like, that's Chowie, that's Chow Chow, that's Pikachu, that's Mel Chow.
Oh my god.
Chowathon. The running one.
They used to sometimes you would throw them away.
Yes, oh my gosh, you could, yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally kicked them across the room.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, because to attack is the same button as pet them or pick them up. I'd be like, da-da-da-da-da, I'm gonna press B. No! I'm so sorry! And they cry. They're like, yeah! And I'm like, no. You have to pick them up and, like, shake them. You could do more in Sonic Adventure 2. But, like, also, I mean, we can't forget the frickin' soundtrack. Every time you beat a game with a character, I was obsessed with that music, and I tried to get you into it, too, and you were just, like, weren't that into it. But, oh, man, the character themes are so good. But, yeah, in Sonic Adventure 2, you can do more with the Chow. You can actually pet them. And you can take them to kindergarten, and they can learn to, like, play the drums or something.
Couldn't we race them?
Yeah, that was the main thing. Yeah. And, I remember playing Sonic Adventure 2 for the first time, and, like, the first level, City Escape, there's that bass, do-do-do-do-do-do, and then it's like, guitars, and then it's like, rolling around at the speed of sound, and I'm like, oh, this game is gonna kick ass. It's gonna have songs in every level. Oh, I love it, and I love how all of Knuckles' songs are rap or hip-hop, and it's just, it all just comes together wonderfully. And, the dialogue and the storylines is not that great. I don't remember there ever being a moment in Sonic Adventure 2 where I'm like, I love this part of the story. Sonic Adventure, I love the story, but in the Sonic Adventure 2, whatever. Then there's this. Now, okay, what is it called? Fronting? Like, don't front. This game, I understand, is like considered one of the worst games ever made. I do not care. We had some of, like, the best hours of our lives playing this. We had the Dreamcast set up in my basement, and we'd play this. It took a while to, like, get the hang of it. I couldn't really, like, I was mostly too lazy to read the instructions, but, we just didn't really understand, like, what are we supposed to do here? We would always
made our own games of it within the
games. We would always be Sonic. I never had more than one controller, so I never played it with more than one person. And we would always be Sonic because I had assumed that you couldn't play as other characters until you get another controller. So when it comes up, Sonic, COM 1, COM 2, COM 3, I was just like, and I'm Sonic. And I didn't even really try to, like, move the cursor to, like, switch to other characters. But by the time I figured that out, we were so attached to Sonic himself and so used to hating the other characters getting so competitive. We're like, I can't be Tails. I hate Tails in this game.
We hate Tails. Yeah, he's the enemy.
Oh my gosh. The graphics and the sprite, I know, they're all recycled from Sonic Adventure. It's shitty-ass graphics. Everything in it is just taken from Sonic Adventure and just chopped up and re-given. I don't care. It's fun. The mini games, the force jewels you get when you win a battle and then you get a little jewel. We were always like, don't those things look like Gushers?
Yeah.
Because remember Gushers, the fruit snacks, they're shaped like little gems, and they just like, we'd see the jewels on screen and be like, I want to eat them. And, you know, the way we were taught in school, our school was like, we had a rule, like, if you talk out a turn, you get your name on the board, and then if you talk out a turn again, you get a check mark, and 3 check marks, you go to the principal's office. So we kind of adopted that, probably unconsciously. We had in my basement, I had like a big marker board, chalkboard thing, like when we would play school, you know, with stuffed animals. But so, let's say we're being Sonic, we have 2 Precious Stones, we're on the board somewhere, and then another character comes and gets on the Void Precious Stone space, where Void comes out and goes, do you also want a Precious Stone?
Oh my god, Void!
Yeah, and he'll say, I'll get one for you if you give me 50 rings. They pay, the roulette goes around, they're like, don't land on us, don't land on us. No, god damn it! And they're like,
take it from somebody
Knuckles,
else.
and like the Precious Stone absorbs out of us and then goes in, and we're like, write Knuckles' name on that board. We're going after him. We'll hit him with a Curse Opal or a Stop Knight or something to fuck with him. Like, we'll use his card, or if you'll be like, okay, all we have to do is play this last card and I'll get to the Precious Stone. That was my card! They stole our card.
Right,
Put Amy on the list. You know, we'd get so hyper competitive into it.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, if you get into the right elements of that game, it's underrated. Like, it gets fun
it's
when
fun,
you
yeah, but everyone was always like, oh, it's a ripoff of Mario Party. And I was like, I've never played Mario Party. I don't care. I love it. I remember the first level is the Emerald Coast, where it's like half beach, half ice, because the whole thing is like, when we win, we stop this spell of ice from taking over the beach, and the beach is pretty again, because it's all about being in people's dreams, and then the fairy Lumina takes you to the next world, the Firebird, which is basically the egg carrier, you know, it's a game board on that ship. We were stuck on that for like 3 years, and we finally made it, and the next level is the Nature Zone, which I really liked. It very much reminded me of Fern Gully, especially when you beat it, and all the bricks and stuff, and the pillars start to crumble, and like plants just take over, and like a huge tree blossoms. Like, that is so just like the end of Fern Gully, where that big tree grows and takes apart the leveler. There's one, I don't know if it's a glitch, I don't know if it's just me or I'm doing something wrong, but in the middle of the game, you know, sometimes it'll just say accident, 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 and I'll be like, okay, we're gonna have one of those mini games that's specific to the level. And in the Nature Zone, there's 2 that could be. It's either one where you're jumping around in a ring of fire, but there's another one where each player is in a crocodile's mouth, and the crocodile's mouth slowly closes, and the instructions say, repeatedly press A to escape. And everyone else is all like, and they get out, and I'm like, I'm pressing it, what the hell? And then mine just closes, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Is it the game? Is it me? Somebody out there tell me, because I could never do it. It just didn't work. Oh, man. And then we finally beat that level and got to the Riot Train, the one that's the game board's on the trains.
That one I remember.
Yeah, that one's great. I just loved how everything was all the Old West. And, man, I love these games. They're the best. Good times, man.
You don't have the Dreamcast.
I do, but it doesn't work. I do have, my friend Robert will lend me his Dreamcast anytime I want, but I don't have a TV that's compatible. You need a TV with one of the big fat backs. They don't work on, like, a flat screen these days.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna need to, like, go online and be like, I don't have an old TV TVs that don't exist anymore.
Right. Like
or if they ever, you know, let it be on Xbox streaming, which they probably won't. Oh yeah, I remember my mom got me this the Sonic Adventure instruction booklet. I remember by the time I had this, I think I'd already beaten the game a few times, but it was still nice to see the maps. Exactly. I remember back it was like 5th grade, I kept coming to school every day telling you how far I got in Sonic Adventure, and I'm sure maybe you didn't care, maybe you didn't, I don't know. You never told me, like, Julie, I don't care. Even if that's what you were thinking. But I was so excited, and I remember one day, it was during the Christmas pageant, because we went to a religious school, so every year there was a Christmas worship service where we'd come back to the school at night to all go to the chapel and sing. And it was like that afternoon, I was like, oh, I've got so far in Sonic Adventure, I made it to Perfect Chaos, I unlocked Super Sonic, and then we, you know, go home for the afternoon, we all come back at night, we met up in the classroom, and I'm like, Perfect Chaos is no more, I beat him. Yeah, like as soon as I went back to school, like beat the game, and I was just
like,
it was awesome.
On Cloud 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember these were toys that came out during, not that one, but these, there wasn't Knuckles 2, but I never had it, but Sonic and Tails here. These came out around the time of Dreamcast. They each came with, like, a ring. I have a bunch of little rings, too.
Yeah, like
these are from smaller, like, rubbery toys I had, but point is, his arm is, here, check this out. Okay, his arm is missing, like, the bolt that holds it in. This is a staple. It was you who did this. You unfolded a staple and surgically put his arm back on. And I was like, you were like, let me do this. I can do this. And I'm like, thank you. You saved Sonic. And I'm sure I
was a surgeon.
Yeah, I'm sure I probably made them like a little hospital bed out of Kleenex. Yeah, and was like, sure now you recover. And then I think, yeah, when Sonic 2...
Is this the same staple that I put in?
Yeah, I never replaced it.
Where? It's like
6th grade, maybe.
Attempt to not age us. I'm like, this is like ancient.
Yeah.
This is an old staple.
Yeah. And when Sonic Adventure 2 came out, they came out with these little dinky games and Happy Meals, and I was like, I was of course too old for Happy Meals, or at least I thought I was, but I'm like, well, Sonic stuff, no, I'm getting it. And this is a really old one. This may have like come from Burger King. It says 1993 on it, but he's like spins. I got this at, do you remember Dollar Holler in 1st grade when we were learning about money? And Miss Halsketter had this event in the basement of the gym of our school.
That used to feel like, as I remembering it, that felt like such a big deal, like shocking.
Yeah, like we had like there was food to eat. We all got pretend money so we could learn about adding and subtracting and stuff. We had like little cardboard coins and paper money, and the upper grades brought in a bunch of crappy toys they didn't want, and then we could buy them with our pretend money. It's all about learning, and that's where I got that Knuckles. And I had a Sonic 2 that was like, it was like a little thing where you press a button and Sonic goes pew and springs off the thing. It was like Sonic, and then there was flames.
Oh,
it
looks like one of those, like a top, you know, like what are those? Yeah, top, when you use it. And it
well, it wasn't that, but but basically, when I got this Knuckles, people were like, Julia, you should get Sonic 2. I'm like, oh, I already have that. I don't, because I lost it, but, oh yeah, I think my dad got me this. This was Sonic Bubble Bath. There was like water in here, and you could press these buttons and try to get these rings on the pegs, and I don't remember if I ever played it. I mean, you kind of play this on the toilet, you know? You just got nothing to do. I don't think I was ever that into it. Like this isn't something I would have gotten so into that I needed to like pursue it.
Because it's really just ring. You know what I mean?
It's just colored. Like, it's colored rings. You get the colors on the pegs. That's
right, but it's like not necessarily. It's just not Sonic themed. The game itself has nothing to do with.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a generic game, so it's like.
Yeah.
Mass appeal.
And let's see. Here. This is a Valentine card you gave me. It's been up on that bulletin board for years. I took it down specifically for this video.
I thought of this though.
Drawing of Knuckles she drew.
You know what's funny is you taught me how to draw Knuckles. And I should have brought it because I still have it too. I don't remember what birthday it was, but you made me a card where it was like where it was Knuckles, but he was like basketball.
Oh yeah, always Knuckles. I always used to draw Knuckles playing basketball because
for my birthday card.
Actually, Knuckles would be better at like boxing, but you know.
Yeah, but I love basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Sport, so
I remember it was 6th grade. I had to be. I was Knuckles' girlfriend, Julie Sue. This is the first Knuckles comic I ever got.
Oh my god, that's so
Knuckles' girlfriend. This is Knuckles number 28. This is the first Knuckles comic I ever got. I remember I was in South Haven, Michigan with my family, and we went to a place called Blue Chip Comics, and that was the first time I'd been in a real comic book store where they had like files and you can like flip through and find back issues. And I found this, I was like, and I kept saying, oh my god, Knuckles! And it was like, I just was obsessed with this color scheme, the pink, the purple, the green. I was her for Halloween once. And
makes me think of like new age tattoos. Because they're like bold colors and stuff. Yeah.
But I still have the mittens from that costume. These mittens have just been in the house all these years. Those are the mittens I used to be Julie Sue. I still had a pink baseball cap. Remember the play we did in 2nd grade at Dancing at Animal U?
Yeah.
You were a hippo. I was a flamingo, and all the girls were given these pink baseball caps with these, cardboard beaks on them. So I just turned the pink hat around and I sewed all these dreadlock looking things and hair to it. I mean, basically all female echidnas have mullets. But, so that I got a few more. I got like the issue that comes before that. And I was still kind of lost. But, you know, and then right after Knuckles number 32, they just cut off the series, and they just put the Knuckles stories in the back of Sonic comics. It's like Knuckles is no longer his own individual whatever, but you still get to read it. I love...
Right, free Knuckles.
Yeah. This is...
Justice for Knuckles.
This is, okay, Sonic Super Specials. I loved this one, Girls Rule, where the girls all get their own solo stories, and, Hershey the cat, I always liked her, and it's in this first, it's in this issue that you kind of see a little tension between her and Jeffrey St. John the skunk, and I was always like, they should be a couple, because Jeffrey St. John was always hitting on Sally like a jerk, and he and Sonic hated each other because, you know, they both liked Sally, but I'm like, Jeffrey, Hershey, the cat, she's cool, you should be with her. And I think one of my letters got printed in one of these. I think, yeah, this is the... And I wrote a letter, and the letter got printed. I think it's in this one. Yeah. Dear Sonic, I've been reading your comics for a while now, and I have some questions. When King Max goes to heaven, or whatever, because he was a jerk. I thought he might go to hell. Will Sally become queen, or will Elias become king? 2, will there be more Lupe and the Wolfpack adventures? I think they should have their own series. I think I just said that because that's what other people were writing too, like, so-and-so should have their own series. And I'm like, yeah, Lupe and the Wolfpack. Julia Plous, Chicago, Illinois. 1, though King Max isn't going anywhere, that question will soon be answered in Sonic the Hedgehog number 91, Julia. 2, a series featuring the Wolfpack? This doesn't seem likely to happen anytime in the near future, since poor Lupe was roboticized back in Sonic Super Special number 11. Well, obviously I wrote the letter before this issue came out, excuse me. It's someone, yeah, someone else did write someone saying, are Jeffrey and Hershey gonna be an item? And they wrote back, keep your eyes on them, sparks are sure to fly. And they did get together, and it was cute. When they did the Sonic Adventure tie-in, where they took the game story and tried to blend it in with the comics, I remember being really frustrated with the concept of, they needed a reason for Amy Rose to now look like this, because she didn't look like that originally in the comics. She had like the ruffled skirt and the green sleeves. So they just made her, let's see, I got my file folder of comics right here. They just made it, I'm just gonna wish. I'm gonna make a wish. Thank you. A little clumsy, we're a little low budget here. This is just my room. She's just like, I'm gonna make a wish to just be older faster. And it's like, ta-da, now she looks like this. And I like this design. I like the color scheme of pink and red, and I like the boots. It is cute. But I used to just write angry letters and not send them. Be like, you know this is impossible. You can't just be older. You'll always be the age you are. Unless you're gonna go back in time and be born earlier. Just because you mature up your body doesn't mean you are older. Like, I just thought, like, doesn't anyone writing these comics get that? Like, it just fried my brain. Let's see, in 2001, summer of 2001, my family went on a train trip, first to Virginia, or to Washington, D.C., and then to New York City. And while we were staying in New York City, my dad says, like, Julia, I've talked to the people who run the Archie Comics place in Mamaroneck, New York, and they are gonna give us a tour. And I was like, I get to meet the people who make the comics? It was like, and I didn't know until like a few years ago that took a lot of pestering and cajoling from my dad. He said, like, no, they said they do not give tours. And he just kept calling and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, and I was there, like, I would have been going into 7th grade, and I remembered reading, let's see, this is number 86, this is off panel, this guy, the color artist, it says, we introduce Archie employee Tito, aka Rosario Pena. As the strip above mentions, he colors all the Archie-related covers. A complete sound effects master with verbal knowledge of almost every spoken line from the Simpsons cartoon. I was like, me too! I remember that was before I was diagnosed with ADD. All I would do was quote things constantly, probably drive people crazy.
I remember it was like,
nonstop.
If there was ever a lag in conversation, you would come in with a quote from
The Simpsons or Arthur. I knew I was driving people nuts, but my brain was, that's just so, when I got there and I met Tito, and we immediately started quoting The Simpsons at each other. It was the scene where Mr. Burns goes on the radio show, Jerry Rude, and he starts making all the fart noises, and Tito just came in with that. I still remember the shirt he was wearing. On the back, his shirt said, "Flushing, how appropriate." And I met the cover artist of Sonic, Patrick Spaziente. I guess you don't say spaz anymore. That's insensitive, but that's what he went by. But oh my gosh, he was my hero. I was so into... wait, there's one more issue down here. I think I brought it out. Yeah, this is because I was there with them. They actually said, like, let's see some of your artwork. I actually had brought the headdress, the hat for my Julie Sue costume, and I told Patrick Spaziente, like, I was Julie Sue for Halloween last year, this is the costume. And he's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. He's like, when we first designed her, she just looked like Knuckles with eyelashes. It was really bad. I was like, and so, they're like, let's see your drawings. Hey, you're pretty good. And they actually, in the next issue or so, did print some of my drawings. There it is. This one is mine down here. Yeah. And this pencil one up here, this is messed up because it was a pencil drawing, and some of the pencil hadn't been fully erased, so when it was printed, you see extra lines. Like, why is that there? And it was of Sally Moon. Remember that issue where it was like a crossover with Sailor Moon, or not a crossover, but like Princess Sally in Sonic Goes Zone Hopping. That's it. So it's like Sally is Sally Moon, and that's her being Sally Moon. And I didn't even watch Sailor Moon back then, but I still knew what that was. And so, but that picture, that pencil drawing, like, I saw it in a dream. I had a dream seeing this picture, and I was like, I have to draw that. So I tried. Not a very good drawing. But, let's see, I got a picture of me. Yeah, here's me and my mom and Victor Gorelick, the editor-in-chief of Archie Comics at that time.
Oh,
And what you got?
Why did they put your name on? That's not your picture.
Oh, they put my initials, just so you know.
That's the same
yeah,
one.
But then they sent me home with like a huge manila envelope of free comics, and I was like, this is the best trip of my life.
Right, like that's the best trip ever.
Except what's interesting is then that year, the school year following that's when 9/11 happened. And that was basically the end of childhood for us. It was like, I remember being in school and you coming up to me by the lockers like, Julia, did you know the Twin Towers, they're gone.
That's such, you know what's weird is in my memory, you came up to me and said it.
Wow, that's crazy.
In my memory, I walk into the classroom and you come up and you're like, they knocked down the Twin Towers. And I was like, what's the Twin Towers?
No, I was like that too.
I was like, what's the Twin
Didn't know because
we're in Chicago. Like, not the Sears Tower.
I may have understood what the World Trade Center was, but the Twin Towers, I don't think I could have.
Made the connection of the building in New York.
Yeah, I was just there because I was like, oh my gosh, I was just in New York City. And so, but the thing is, like, at my age, and because I was more concerned with meeting the Archie Comics people, I wasn't really taking in the landmarks. I wasn't like, wow, that's the Empire State Building. Wow, that's the Chrysler Building.
Even our 8th grade class trip, we went to Washington, D.C., and like, I'm like, if I were to go there now, I would have, like, I would love to be in Washington, D.C. now.
Yeah, I didn't even go on that trip.
I was like, I don't care about this.
Yeah, I didn't go on that trip because I was scared. I was like scared of being away from home for that long, especially with the art class. Like, a lot of people were mean to me. I just didn't feel comfortable. I'm like, I don't think I can do this.
Of jerks in that class.
Yeah, and
only
then
like 4. There's only like
there were 13 people in our graduating 8th grade class.
Like, basically like going like, we're up each other's butts all day, every day. Like, siblings. So, like, we were all jerks.
Yeah, and also I was like, I've already been to Washington, D.C., because the original 8th grade class trip was supposed to be to Canada, but then there was SARS.
Every year before us went to Canada.
Yeah, and now and then it was like, oh, if there's SARS, we can't go to Canada.
Yeah, right,
so we're going to Washington, D.C. I'm like, I don't even care. I'm not going.
Before that, they had given us, they were like, we'll either do Washington, D.C., San Antonio, or like, it was like New Orleans or something, like
something awesome.
Yeah, it was like San Antonio, Texas. I was like, literally either one of those, but not Washington, D.C., and that was where we went to go.
Yeah, basically everything went to crap in 9/11. Yeah.
But it was fun. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent.
Yeah.
I wonder what actually happened then.
Because
like, you remember me telling you, and I remember you telling me, and we both were like, I don't know what the Trade Center is.
Yeah, and that was eventually how I learned the word terrorist. I don't think I'd even heard of the religion of Islam, and to be told they did it, well, you know what? This is getting kind of dark.
Yeah, so because like we also go into a whole other debate about like what happened at 9/11, what it was for.
That's my best friend. This is all my Sonic stuff. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and
Thanks
comment.
for having me, guys. Thanks, Julia, for having me.
Thanks for coming all this way. Yeah. All right. We'll check you later.